from as young as I can remember. I always had a feeling that there was something wrong with me, that my teachers knew, that all my friends knew, that they were like doing me a favor by not saying anything. With my therapist, we progressed from there to a diagnosis of transgender. The only course of treatment that will be helpful, a physical transition from one gender to the other. I was Margaret Farabee, and now after transition, I'm Zachary Black. I'm Melinda. Transgender, it really is a diagnosis for people that were raised or born into one biological body, but kind of their person and their gender identity is not congruent with that body. I guess for me, that means that I was born and raised in a female body, and it never really felt right. Like something always felt kind of off. And my parents never forced any real gender identifying toys or games, or I'm guessing at a really young age I said I don't want to wear dresses anymore, and that's when it stopped. They stopped like trying to make me wear dresses, and my mom just bought me jeans and t-shirts and stuff. I did like a year and a half of counseling before I decided to move forward with physical transition, just to make sure that like I wasn't doing something rash that I was going to regret later. And it took me a long time to actually start the physical side of the process. So while I was in counseling, part of the process is called a real life test, and it's where you live as if you were physically transitioned, or as if you were male, like kind of going through people with the process of saying, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, kind of letting people know, and then attempting as best you can to be seen as male in the world. I remember the first guy that I told, that was like a good friend of mine, he was like, you don't want to be a guy, guys are gross. He's like, you don't even, let me just tell you about how guys are gross, and like proceeded to like launch into this kind of description of like how men are kind of sleazy and it's dirty and gross, and I just kind of like sat back and smiled, and most of the reaction that I got was, that's not really right for me, and like I'm young, and like I just need to live for a while and see what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna grow out of this phase. And my family, I told them that I was gonna transition. They told me that I was nuts, that I needed some serious help, that everybody has issues with their body. But I believe that I used the tactic of, like, this is gonna be good for me, I'll be able to be straight now. Like, look, I can get married, and like now I'll be normal, and you'll have like kind of two normal kids. But I don't know, I was trying to think if there was anybody that was really supportive of this in the beginning, and there really wasn't. There wasn't anybody who was like, hey, I totally see this, that this is going to be the right thing for you. And that was really difficult. It was difficult to have people like not be supportive and not see that this could be something that was like really cool. But nobody that I was coming out to had any experience with people transitioning before. So all these people had never even thought about gender. There's a lot of words for people, like people that screw around with gender, and most of the words have bad connotations. Think of like trashy drag queens and kind of Jerry Springer and my uncle is now my aunt kind of situation. And the terms transgendered and transsexual fit for me. But outside of that, I'm just a normal guy. I ride bikes, I have dogs, I see my mom every Sunday. So in the end, transition's really not for everybody, and it's not an easy process. But it was the right thing for me, and everything that I've gone through has been totally worth it. I've got great supportive people in my life, and I don't regret any of it. You just get through it, and then you have a life outside of it, and I'm getting to the life outside of it.